Hey guys, for my mineral or vitamin, I chose calcium. I decided it'd be best to go with one that was more common, more well known, something that everyone would probably have an idea of what it is. Um, but anyways, let's get started. The significance and role of calcium in the body. Just to start off, this is one of the most abundant minerals in the body. This is something we actually learned about this week. Calcium's going to have a role in obviously the skeletal system, which skeletal system being the levers that muscles pull on, right? So obviously a major function there is keeping bones strong, making sure they're not brittle, not leading to breaks and overall breakdown there, which could be a bad thing. Muscle function, nerve transmission, contractions, it's got to do with hormonal release. Calcium has a vast amount of roles in the body, and as I mentioned before, it's highly abundant and something that our body uses quite well and uses a lot of. As far as techniques for measuring levels, I found 3 techniques that were reviewed by other medical professionals and ones that were an experiment by a medical professional, not just some random paper that I found. So to start off, there are 2 blood tests and there's 1 urine test. All of them, while detect calcium, detect it in a different way, and it has a different function as to why they're doing it. The first one is going to be the total calcium blood test. This is a simple blood test. The medical professional is going to draw your blood. Then obviously they're going to analyze it to see how much calcium is in that blood sample that they tested for. This test is quite simple. It is to detect whether you have low, normal, or high levels of calcium in the body. It's nothing too special. That's simply what it is, to see if you have deficiency, if you've got too much and a high abundance of it, if you're right in that good range. That's the most simple one and the one that's most common from what I understood. The next one is called an ionized calcium blood test. Now, ionized calcium means that it's a free calcium. It's not bound to a protein. So the point of this test, again, it's a blood test, by the way. So they're gonna, again, draw blood. They're gonna analyze this sample for blood and see how much free calcium there is. So the point of this is not to look for deficiencies or for an abundance of calcium in the body. It's specifically looking at the free calcium. The point of this is to see if you have a balance between free calcium and bound calcium. If you have an unbalance there, ionized is higher or bound is higher, that's where you're gonna have a big medical issue in the body and can honestly lead to some serious breakdowns in the body. So obviously you don't want that. The last one I found is a urine test. It's just a calcium urine test. So the medical professional will have you collect a sample of your urine. From there, I'm gonna analyze the urine sample to see how much calcium is being excreted. So the point of this one is actually to see how well calcium is being absorbed in the body. If you're excreting a lot of calcium, that could either be a sign that you're taking in way too much or that your digestive system is not properly absorbing all the calcium that you're taking in, even if it's just a normal range. If your body's having trouble absorbing it, that's a whole issue on its own. And most commonly, if you're not absorbing the calcium properly, it's going to lead to kidney stones, and no one wants a kidney stone, right? So while they all measure calcium in a way, it's for a different reason, or it measures it in a way that's to be analyzed to look at something specific rather than the total. As far as drawbacks, one of the major drawbacks that I was reading about is that inaccurate reporting, or inaccurately reporting medications or not following those directions. Obviously, if you're taking a calcium medication or things that will increase calcium in a non-natural way, other than outside your diet, if you drink milk, that's fine, but we're talking medications that can lower it, increase it, things along those lines, your medical professional will obviously recommend you stop taking that for a period of time leading up to the test so it can be as accurate as possible. But that big drawback that I read about was the inaccurate reporting, people not reporting how long they weren't taking their medication for, if they're taking it properly, and those can have a significant alteration on your levels of calcium in your body. Obviously if you're taking something that's going to decrease it because you have an abundance and you're not taking it as prescribed or you're not stopping taking it before the test, that's going to completely skew the data all across the board. And that was the biggest thing that I understood. The advantages, obviously, is you have 3 different types here, depending on what the medical professional is looking for. You know, if it's for total, if it's just for free to look at a balance, or to see if you're absorbing it correctly. So that is a strong advantage. You get 3 options to choose from depending on what you're looking for. It's not just 3 tests that do the same thing. It's 3 tests that do different things and provide a different function to look at different things going on in our body. So that's definitely a strength that I understood. Other than that, it was pretty unique to read route. I thought it was something that was fun. Hopefully you guys learned a little bit of something. So thanks for listening.